Scrappy Kathy here, back from my world travels, and as many of you know, faced with the double lines on the COVID testing strip, and just overwhelming, unbelievable sleepiness and scratchiness and sniffiness and all those things, but generally not sick, you know, just some annoyances. So I feel very fortunate. I feel very lucky to have been able to have 4 jabs, and I think that's keeping the symptoms livable with. And then I hear all the recent strains that are kind of spreading around are fairly mild. So again, I feel fortunate. And for those of you who have followed my social media postings during the trip, it was absolutely incredible. And there will be much more coming out about that when I can trust that my voice will last. And when Adam and I get organized, he's not feeling well either, so far testing negative, but a couple others who were in our class on the cruise have tested positive. So there was definitely something on the ship. So I think that was a calculated risk that we all took when getting back into that kind of travel mode. But I think there were just extraordinary measures on the ship to keep everything clean and keep people distanced, and to have you washing your hands when you walked in, and just, you know, there was a focus. There was not no one had forgotten that was possibly out there. So I think they kept it down as much as possible. So enough about that. What I'm doing here is a layout share of the layouts that I have not shared before. And as you know, my process is that I stack up layouts till a week goes by, or till I can't stand it anymore and I need to put them away in albums. And then I do a layout share, and then I put them in albums and then start another stack. So this is a layout share from before I left for the trip, except there were a couple layouts that were scheduled, videos that went live after I left for the trip, so that were scheduled. I do not have with me the layouts, the 2 layouts that I made on the trip. One of them I made and completed at the Dottie About Flare crop, and the other I also did at the Dottie About Flare crop, but it's not finished. I don't like it. It was a Scrap Squad lift, and that's not what I don't like. What I don't like are my choices of product colors. If you can believe this, I have a problem with the colors. Who think all colors go with everything. You'll see what I mean when I bring it forward. So on that one, I'm going to do a video finishing it, trying to tone down what I don't like, or maybe tear some things apart. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I have to have it in hand, and it hasn't reached here yet. So anyway, I'm going to go through these quickly, mainly to see if my voice will last. Yesterday, I did a little bit of talking on the telephone to my son, and in the course of that, I caused myself to start coughing again. So that wasn't good. I'm going to adjust this just a tiny bit. I don't like any of it there. I can't, never mind, you don't want to hear that. Okay, so let's just do this. This one is, and I'm going to have to consult everything. This was day 2 This was for challenge accepted, and it's day 2 of 30 days of sketches, or the best of 30 days of sketches. It's a Susanna Lee sketch that's right here, and I did it with this. There is a video since it was challenge accepted, and so this is about a new acai bowl place, and there's a story to it about the old acai bowl place, which is not there anymore. And I used some bits of the packaging that was sent with to me from MK Gun, from Some Assemblage Required, with my last order. And then I had some miscellaneous flowers. I think these are all from Paige Evans. This is definitely a mishmash of supplies. Very old paper here, which you can see the other side of right there. It has a sheen to it. I forget what the brand is. And then this was, what paper was that? Oh, look at the other side. It's a Pink Fresh paper that I had used the other side of in and this is washi tape, and it doesn't match anything, but, well, the blue of that matches the color of the blueberry, so there. That's my excuse. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So that's layout number 1. Layout number 2 is, and I can tell this is a, excuse me, mixed media mayhem. And I did, it was to use paint, tissue paper, and embossing. And the tissue paper is this sheet music thing. And I used some embossing with some splatter stamps and some embossing powder, and what else was I supposed to use? Paint. That's a nice acrylic paint there on top of that. That's a picture of baby squirrel's first country concert with her dad. Okay, so there's that. These, I did a video showing how I finished some class layouts in the Vicki Boutin class using Spectrum Sherbet by 49 and Market. And this is a double pager, and I have to say I really, really love this. It's about my granddaughter and her friend, and my granddaughters and a friend scrapping with me, and just having a wonderful time, and then the layouts that they created that night. And I used some rub-ons that spread across the page, including this butterfly. So this is, I don't do 2-pagers very often, and when I do, I usually don't go to any kind of trouble to make them look like they blend together, but I did in this case, and I actually kind of like the results. So I'm happy with that. Love Spectrum Sherbet. Have more of it coming from Adams. Bless his heart, he got me the full set from Hey Little Magpie, and he presented it to me when I arrived, and I took it to the retreat, to the crop with me, and then made a mess of the first layout that I did with it. So anyway, this is one of the class layouts from the Vicki Boutin class, and I absolutely love the Vicki's idea of fussy cutting around these florals and tucking photos down, and so I really went with that. This is fairly close to her class example. This is another one from the class. It's a photo of Allie, and I've used rub-ons with stitching and adding some pink to it. The layout, the background page is all in this teal kind of color scheme, but I wanted to add in some pink to that, and so I kind of did that. I love this page. I used Vicki's canvas thickers and used a little bit of Distress Oxide on a paintbrush to kind of color it, to add in that pink. Here's another one from the class, and it is a fussy cut of this pattern, actually, and then raised up and put on the back of that same sheet. And it's a photo of Katie and her friends all dressed up for a Renaissance fair, and I did a film strip and kind of filled it up with sequins. Those are Spiegelmom scraps, and I think they're patina finish sequins. On this one, I actually used rub-ons of little beads inside there instead of sequins, and I think that's kind of cute too. Okay, and here is a lift. Let me see if this is a Scrap Squad Sunday. It is. It's a Steffi Reed original, and her original has like a line of circles here, and then a space for the title, and then a grouping of circles, or 3 lines if you want to look at it that way. I kind of mixed mine up. And I used everything circular I had on hand. I used flare and button dies and die cuts with, I had die cut a star here and a heart somewhere else, and then I die cut a circle around. I also had some sunglasses there. I just went to town with every kind of circular item I had. I used some of these built up hearts and lots of things from Sweet Rush. Excuse me. And I need to get through this before I start doing that on camera. So I'm going to put that aside. There is a video for that. That's one of my Scrap Squad Sunday videos. And it's been a couple Sundays since I've done one. So that one was, let's see, the date on that one was June 4th. Is that right? Yeah, because I left on the 8th. Okay, this is a Scrap Backwards using my May Scrap Backwards kit. I scrapped the Kenny Chesney concert that my son took me to, and he's wearing a Mother's Ruin t-shirt and a photo of the 2 of us at the concert. So I'm not quite sure what that says about anything, but I could have thrown mud on this background paper and I'd have still liked the layout, because this background paper is absolutely gorgeous. It's a wood grain, and all of this that you see with the white and the red polka dots and the blue, teal check and the yellows, all of that is in the pattern, and it's from Strawberry Fields by, and this is the reverse side of it, which is gorgeous too. It's Strawberry Fields from Webster's Pages from, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years ago. So I'm going to put that aside. This one is I think it's a stash dive. I used a Lisa Sikorsky sketch, and it is did a Stash Dive Tuesday, and it's Scrap-A-Sketch number 29. So that's where that came from, and I have lost a sequin here. I'm going to put it back on, and because I'm not going to deal with errant sequins at this stage of the game. I don't want sequins on my table. This is a page about a singer, Minnie Riperton, who I adored back in the 70s. And I had just recently learned that Maya Rudolph, the fabulous comedian from Saturday Night Live, is her daughter, and I never knew that. And as I was doing my research, I saw this photo where Maya recreated her mom's album cover. It just absolutely struck me, and I loved it. So I used tons of stash from a million different places, stayed kinda true to Lisa's beautiful sketch, and I've got something else that fell off of here, so I'm just going to put it on. I don't know where it really came from, but again, I'm not going to let things gather up on my table. And I think there is a video for that one. It's my last Stash Time Tuesday video. This is a Craft Plus page, and it's minimalist for me. It uses all the pink stuff from Spectrum Sherbet by 49 and Market, and I've used a pink squirrel and a pink flare with a white squirrel. The squirrels are from my friend Suzanne Madison, who just who punched and die cut a million of them in all these wonderful colors so that I could use them on pages about Ava, who used to be called Baby Squirrel. So I love this page because I love the photo of Ava sitting here, and I love where her dad kind of captured it, where it's not full on, and you can see in the background the waterfront and Savannah where they were for the concert. Here's another one with circly bits. It's the original is this sketch, and it's a Susanna Lee sketch for excuse me, the best of 30 Days of Sketches. And I used it for Punched Out Thursday, To Die For, and Challenge Accepted, which were on the same Thursday. And I used, again, I think the large circles are from Spectrum Sherbet. I think these orange bits are from a Vicki Boutin collection. And I'm not sure where that came from, but there are bits, quite a few bits from Spectrum Sherbet, and some flair, some custom ladybug flair because that's Katybug. And this is the girls dressed up for a costume party that they were going to, Katie and her friends. Okay, and I ran out of white cardstock but wanted to use white on this. So this is one of those thin sheets that comes in between your page protectors in certain albums. So I don't ever like to waste that, so I use it as cardstock. It's not thick, but once I put it in a page protector with something else on the back of it, it'll be just fine. Okay, here's probably one of my favorite layouts that I've ever made, because I had no idea what I was doing. It was a Mixed Media Mayhem, and it was the week that I set the terms, the three things that we were going to use. And I set distress ink or oxides, a household item, I had no idea what I was going to use, and metallic splatters. And I used this crafty template sketch, which was that day's sketch in Best of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. And I used a heart-shaped template on white cardstock. And then I did mixed media with the inks and oxides inside that, using this as my color guide, using this photo that I took in Roatan, Honduras in the year 2000, February of the year 2000, when we were there celebrating having gotten through the year 2000 without any major system issues in the systems we were responsible for. So, as I did this, I then dipped a stainless steel scrubber into some water. And I picked stainless steel because it's not going to hold on to a lot of water. There's going to be some on the tips, but it's not going to be a real smoosh of water. So you can kind of see there how the water transferred and reacted. And I'm going to use that technique again. I loved it. So obviously used kind of some purples and dark blues here, and then went to the yellows and some pinks. A lot of the pinks are covered up, but this again was from the Kenny Chesney concert. I'll admit I'm not a country fan and don't particularly know a lot about country music, but Kenny sings about beaches and sunsets and palm trees and bars and all kinds of fun things like that. So, and he has a great song called "When the Sun Goes Down," and I thought that would be a good title for this. So I may actually frame this one. I have something that came off of it. I've got something here that I'm pretty sure at one time was on the front. I'll worry about getting that off camera. I'm pretty sure the Ocean Vibes thing kind of went somewhere, maybe right here. So I'll put it back there. I'm going to put it off to the side and fix it before I go forward. This one is a I was asked to do a sample layout for the Best of 30 Days of Sketches, and this was an Allison Davis sketch with the stripes or strips of paper, and then clusters of stars up here in the corner and down here. And I did everything but stars. Actually, I did 2 stars. I have a star there, and there's another one somewhere. There's one right there. And I did those as a nod to Allison's stars. But I used a ton of Bramble Fox perspectives, including these from last summer, and I think that one's from last summer as well. And I used a collection from Cartabella called Summer, and just fussy cut a lot and used a few pieces of ephemera as they were, but used that to kind of highlight a photo I took of the neighborhood pool on a day when I was there completely alone. And it's just always a pretty picture. And I filtered it to get the colors that kind of went with the collection. So I filtered the photo after I had picked out the supplies. I think it was that way, not the other way around. Anyway, so that one was published after I left. And this one was the last one that was published. It is a design team or a challenge team layout for Bramble Fox. And so I'm using all kinds of Bramble Fox perspectives on here as well. And this is a class layout from the Vicki Boutin Spectrum Sherbet class that I did not get very far on. In fact, I think she started it out like this, and then she switched gears, and I didn't. I just left it like this, and kind of just took it farther. So one of these days I'll go back and finish it the way she did. But for now, I really liked the kind of pastel rainbow here, and I tinted the photos, or filtered the photos, so that they'd pick up a pink tint here and a yellow there and the nice blue there. And I had a green ticket instead of a photo there. So those are the layouts that I'm now able to put in my albums, and I will hopefully feel like actually creating a layout and filming that. I doubt that it'll be today. I'm thinking it might be tomorrow or the next day. And I think Adam's got most of my supplies headed, and if you notice, these are different tweezers, and they don't work exactly the same. It takes a little bit more pressure. That's kind of hard on my thumb, so I'm looking for my real tweezers to come back from Adam's house. And these are the same kind of scissors, but I've used these ones to cut metal and thick plastic, so they're not as sharp or as smooth cutting for fussy cutting. So I am not without tweezers and scissors, but I'm waiting for the real ones to come home. And then we'll see, once it arrives at the house, we'll see how it can actually get into my little space down here, because no one's allowed to come down. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I apologize for the quality of my voice. But don't worry, I really am not sick. I'm feeling better today than I did yesterday, and I think yesterday I gave in to what was either COVID or jet lag, and truly slept most of the day. Today I'm going to try to stay awake so that when I go to sleep tonight, I get a good solid night's sleep. And I expect things will improve going on. I just tested again, and I'm still positive, so that hasn't changed. So anyway, you guys stay safe and stay well, and take this seriously. It's even as mild as this is, it's not fun. It disrupts everything. I can't hug my family because I have a son with asthma and COPD, and my granddaughter who has come off chemo, but still her doctors say has not fully rebuilt her immune system. So not anything you want to mess with. I can't even hug the dog, for gosh sake. So anyway, take care. Love you all, and it's good to be back, such as it is. Bye.